It's me, your Femboy, and today is a silly little video about a kind of silly little topic that was requested in the comments of either my last video or the video before. I am totally sorry, I forget, but this is an idea that I didn't have myself, but was an interesting question that I thought I might make a tiny, stupid little, just like vlog about me talking about the topic to you and about sort of my understanding of it, which is very, very limited. So I will say what I'm gonna, like, the topic, of course, you can see what it is already. That's probably why you clicked on it. Is a thing that I am not the most knowledgeable about. I definitely don't think I am the authority on it by any means. And so, please do not take my words as gospel. This is just my opinion on this topic, when my opinion is usually very silly and very stupid. So, just an FYI. So, the video topic is basically, what is the difference between a femboy and drag queens? And it was different. I didn't honestly didn't expect this kind of question to kind of come up, because I always saw them as pretty different, and I'll kind of explain why. So drag queens are very different than femboys, because, and the big thing I would say is that for drag queens, it's like a performance. It's almost, you could say, like a character from what I understand of it. While as a femboy, typically, while some might do it as like a character they might only do like for posts online or things like that, I feel like most femboys is part of their identity. It's kind of sort of how they identify as a feminine boy. And I feel like that's very different than a drag queen. I actually feel like you could probably compare drag queens almost more with, I was gonna say traps, but I think the difference between traps and drag queens are also pretty different. And even though traps and femboys are, I think, pretty different from each other. And if you're interested about that, I did do a very small video about that a while ago, and I'll post that down under if you're interested in that. But so I would say the short answer is that I think drag queens, their identity is as a drag queen is not, it's not an identity. I don't know why I said that. Drag queens, they are, it's a performance, it's a character. Well, with femboys, I feel like it's almost like, it's how I identify. I don't like I don't dress up like this, and I only identify as a femboy on camera, and then when I go to work, I am like boring and straight. Like, that's not what I do. This is just me 25-8. And so that's how I sort of think about it, is that drag queens are characters. It's almost like they're playing characters, which might be representations of themselves in a way, but ultimately I feel like is not how they would act all the time. I'm sure some drag queens, their characters are basically them anyway, so it's not really that much of a stretch, but I feel like ultimately that is what you would say. Like, and I feel like, what's it called? When I am definitely not that knowledgeable about drag queens at all. Like, I lived in California for a while. I was born there, actually. And definitely I lived a couple years near Palm Springs, and I saw a lot of drag shows. I've met some queens. And I didn't ask them this question. I should have, though. I'm interested to see from a drag queen's perspective what they would say the difference is. If any of you who are watching are a queen, I would love to hear kind of your perspective on it. Because I don't want to assume what you're going to say. I'm not even going to say it. I was going to say, I would like to think that it would be similar to what I would say. But at the same time, I'm not sure, since I'm not that knowledgeable. And while I'll give sort of what I perceive it as, it is absolutely not like set in stone. So that's what ultimately how I would say it. Like, and I would say traps are closer to drag queens, and that I feel like but traps is more just a term used for, I would say, I think I mentioned in the video, I'm not going to really go on about it too much, but I feel like traps are more like, I would say they are like femboys, except that because the name kind of implies that this isn't coming out very good. I think what I mean to say is that traps are essentially, they're based kind of like femboys. Except I feel like traps, it's more of a cross-dressing kind of thing, where it might not be their entire identity is that they identify as like a trap constantly, but maybe it's like a cross-dressing thing where they go into public dressed as all feminine. And it's not really who they are in their heart. Although of course I could be totally wrong about that too, since it's just my perspective as a femboy. So that's how I would say it, which I feel like has been very, very messy and all over the place and probably really hard to understand. So I'm so sorry about that. But I would say ultimately, here's the final answer. The difference between drag queens and femboys is drag queens are playing a character and femboys is just their identity. They just identify as a feminine boy. So character identity. So that's what I would say. So yeah, this is a very silly, very short video. But I feel like, especially since I have a lot of Let's Plays and reviews I'm planning on making like in the very near future, I feel like I just want to make a quick little video just to make sure you guys knew that I'm alright and I didn't forget about YouTube or anything. Just life's been very busy and hectic. And everything like that. So yeah, I hope you learned something, and absolutely, if you have any ideas for videos, whether it's questions kind of like this, or if it's topics you want me to go into, I will. Like I remember there are 2 other ideas like this where fans gave me them. I won't say fans. That makes me sound like some like big celebrity, but people who comment, this keeps falling down and showing off my little shoulder. But I don't know. I'm sorry, that was silly. I'm in a silly mood if you can't tell. I've had like 3 coffees and like 2 energy drinks today. So my brain is like a rocket ship and my body is like a pile of garbage sludge. So but I would say I have 2 other videos I have plans that are like this, where they are things that the commenters have asked me to do videos about. So if you have commented for me to do a video and I have said that I am going to do it, I am. It just might take me a little bit because I have some other stuff I gotta do. So I hope that's okay. So, but yeah, I love you. I love you and I want to love you too.